Okay, so this is the demo for RUNT. This is one that passed my Blue Sky feed. I think it is actually out as of me playing the demo, so I'm kind of surprised I didn't catch it before now, but we will investigate regardless. There were some bad times listed on the store page. Let me go through the content warnings here, just to get that out of the way. Within this game, there are depictions of physical and emotional abuse, animal death, gore, blood, body horror, verbal homophobia, verbal misogyny, and verbal sexism. Descriptions of physical and emotional abuse, suicidal thoughts, animal death, gore, blood, body horror, religious trauma, homophobia, misogyny, sexism, pregnancy, and fratricide. Any opinions provided by characters in the game do not reflect those of the developer and publisher of RUNT. Okay. So you gotta double click. Alright. Oh, hey. I appreciate that they put it in the game as well. Did we miss any? Nope. Okay. Yeah, it's the exact same warning that is on the store page. Yeah, it looked like a visual novel. I know there's in the trailer itself, there's literally a shot of somebody sewing up a wound on their arm, so it's gonna be a little gross. Hold down spacebar to fast forward through dialogue. We're not doing that. Dialogue choices cannot be skipped while fast forwarding. Okay. So it'll stop it while if you're fast forwarding. Got it. Okay. I don't know how many times I've written this. I feel like I'm running out of pages. But each time I think about what happened that week, I remember more and more until it becomes a big puzzle of details that just don't fit right. It's gonna start over right from the beginning. Oh, I also turned on a subtitle, so it'll have ones for the sound effects too. My name is Runt. My name is Mud. Me and my brothers live out near Skipclaw on the perimeter, right where the land meets the forest. There are 5 of us. Hunter, Tanner, Carver, Fisher, and me. I was 9 when it all happened. All I ever heard was the big power station over in Grenshaw blew up. When the smoke filled the air, never left. I wanted to add a little bit of twang, but not too much. All connections and wired shit like that never got up and running again. It's black and gray every day. I like that. I guess that's going to serve as your flashlight too, which is interesting. Black and gray every day since that power station blew up. Black and gray everywhere as far as anyone knows. The stars don't even show in that. We almost starved that first year. Nobody ever came for us out here at Skipclaw. No army, no government. And food won't grow easy in a world like this. Animals don't like it too much either. Rift in the world now. Crack in reality. Dad would have known what to do. He always said there was a war out there. That's why it was hard on us. It's going to be a war someday between the righteous and the unrighteous. War for our souls. Dad was... he was doing his best. Dad always said he was a righteous man in a world full of sickness and perversion. Preached a while down south till most of his flock turned away from the truth God had given him. It's too hard for him, I guess. God demands a lot. It demands a lot so he can give a lot. I don't know about that. Dad was the mouth of God. So we were the son of a preacher man. Who ever cried to no friends like nothing? Crying and driving to the floor and speaking in tongues the way God wanted him to. Show him that he was there and he was real and Dad was the mouth of God. Too much for those with little faith. Dad left, taking a bit of land on the outskirts of Skipclaw where he's going to prepare us for the war and the end time. Started saying we didn't need the town. We were better off without the world. Chicken? Nanny and Georgie? And feed. Let's give Georgie some highlights. Just kind of... See, we came in through the radio and the TV stations, the bag of chicken feed and starter potatoes, and the seeds and all the friends we've made. I mean, given Monsanto's track record, not entirely wrong. All we really needed was each other and our faith. Well, unless you're pooping out potato starters, okay. These were hard, God wanted them to be hard. If we were unhappy, it's because we weren't right with God, because we had tainted earth with our sins. Dad did what he could, but he wasn't trained to run our little outpost at the edge of the wilderness. He'd been a juvie warden during seminary. Picked up a few things. Knew a few guys who built us a bunker and filled it with enough rations to keep us going for a few years. Everything else we had was books, copies and copies of Dad's teachings he'd printed on his own dime. His own fucking dime, he used to say. Red in the face because nobody wanted him. Because no one was ready to open their hearts enough to God to buy one. That was the first things I ever learned to read. Didn't even know picture books were a thing till I was too old to read them. Check out this cool gun. We failed, Dad. All of us. And he punished us the way you'd punch a grown man. Fair enough. Don't do that. We starved and froze and dried out in the heat. You slept short hours up at the crack of dawn so late in the night you couldn't stand on your own 2 feet anymore. No matter how tired or thin we got, we did our work. I had to survive. Survive the tests. Never-ending tests. And then Dad got sick. He had a disease whose name I think Hunter knows, but I forgot. He needed shots. When the world went up with a bunch of black smoke, all the medicine went with it. Guess that's Dad. Not Dad believed in any of it before. Never really trusted the government was doing. But that medicine he needed, somehow he found some. And he took it religiously. And when we ran out, that was it. One day he was alive. One day he wasn't. Died after years of wasting away, right when he was needed most. When the world, with its apocalypse, proved him right. Of course, we had to go back to town then. We needed him. He knows too, it seemed. Hunter fixed it all up. 5 of us strong boys with enough guns and ammo for a small army became the Army's skip club. We patrolled, we policed, we hunted, and we maintained the perimeter. Nobody comes and goes without Hunter knowing about it. No one goes out at night without Hunter knowing about it. No one so much as sneezed without Hunter's permission. Hunter's word was law. Old Town was ours, and it thrived as best it could under the unbearable weight of an endless blackened sky. Would Dad be proud? Guess it doesn't matter now. Dad was gone. Mom died giving birth to me, and none of us knew what to feel. We were on our own. 5 years to the day of his death, everything changed. All because of what we saw in church. Oh? Runt. Runt, get up. You better be moving by the time I get there. Get up. Quit hiding. Carver stood over me. Couldn't see his face, but I just knew he was sneering at me. I'm up. You scribbling in your little diary again? Kinda girly, ain't it? Okay, and it doesn't highlight when you're in these scenes. Interesting. Is he up? He's up, writing his damn little book again. Which I feel like the mask would distort a little deeper. You ready to go, Run? No lollygagging now. I said I was up. Oh wow, we back talking now? Carver, we don't have time. It's not my fault we're late. Runt been hiding from us again. Can't sniff me out anymore under that thing? Don't you get lippy with me, I'll fucking knock you upside the head. I'll fucking throw your bed out in the pond, you hear me? What are you all squabbling about? We're just talking to Runt, says he's ready. I can speak for myself, you know. Ad's about to start in like 30 seconds, so we'll keep going with this for a bit. Yeah, you were speaking earlier, were you? So there's 5 of us. So the only one we haven't seen yet is Hunter, I guess. It's the anniversary of Dad's death, on a Sunday, no less. We were going to church. We called the church. It was really just a rickety old storehouse we fixed up to serve something holy. And it's time for an ad, so we'll continue that when we get it. Okay. Really didn't want to go. Carver, fucking asshole that he was right. I'd been hiding. Foolish as it was, I hope they wouldn't find me. Wanted to see their flashlight sweeping past the windows. Here, I'm calling out in my name before giving up and going on without me. One of them would unload on me, probably Hunter, but at least I wouldn't be in the church. That's why I was Runt. Little guy. A weak guy. The one hiding under the bed from the switch. They always found me because I still hadn't learned that lesson. I had to get my stuff packed before I went. As I stood up from my little nook between the kitchen and the basement, I saw my backpack had spilled everywhere. All my things were scattered across the floor. Knew it was Carver. Luckily, hadn't a flashlight. Ah, okay. To pick up items, search the environment with your flashlight. You'll often need to dig through a lot of trash or clutter to find exactly what you need. When you find what you're looking for, click on it to add it to your bag. We need journal, radio, a map, and a paper with the code. It's sexy to be 60. And if you don't need it, it won't let you take it. Alright, well that's a radio. Okay, so it's a little bit hidden object. I want my nickels and pennies. You would think the hammer would be a good thing to take, but okay. The brush can set fire thing. Is that a map? I think that's a map. Yeah, okay. Paper with the code. That's paper. That's spray paint. Journal? Journal. Had to sort my shit out. Make sure it was all in the best spot to grab. I remember checking my bag. Examine items in your inventory by hovering over their icons. Giving them items a closer look can help with puzzles and requests. Your inventory can be opened by clicking your bag. You cannot open your inventory while in dialogue. All the items you collect can be examined right here in your bag, but for now, let's get your radio and journal ready. Click each of them to place them permanently on your HUD. We're looking around your bag. Click the strap at the bottom left to close it. So it was the radio and the journal. Padlock code on a... Can I add that too? Won't let me. Order. Flipping your radio to switch it on and off. Radio only plays music, which changes depending on where you are and who you're talking to. I'll check out our journal. Your journal is where you keep track of your thoughts, feelings, and your to-do list. Scribble notes on your changing feelings and your to-do list can both be found on the Me page, while the rest of the journal contains everything else. Whenever you see a red swirl in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, something important has been added to your journal. Below your Me page is your mind map. This mind map will automatically collect and connect key pieces of info during conversations and display how they relate to each other. That's kind of cool, if at all. Get a new mind map each day to help track of evolving leads as the week progresses. When you're done checking out your journal, head out to meet your brothers, but be quick about it. They aren't that patient. Click on the hand at the bottom left to close your journal. Feel irritated. Dreams are only vague nightmares. Don't feel too much about myself. Hope my rounds go quick. Ain't much to do right now. Did my shit by myself today. Everyone had to prepare for Dad's, I don't know what you call it, funeral? It's like we're reburying him over and over again. Okay, Fishers. Questions we're keeping on. Okay. Brother Fisher's a few years older than me, whip smart with iron faith in Dad's teachings. Got the feeling he don't like us too much, given how much he spends at the time he spends at the hydro station. Okay. The middle strayer. Now the asshole is fighting, wisecracking, and trying to start shit. Likes making my life miserable as possible. One day I'll land a punch on this fucker. Brother Tanner's the second eldest. Real quiet. Hard to read. Let's carve around like a dog. Though I don't understand why. This two couldn't be more different if you tried. Are we trying to solve a mystery? Huh. No sense in waiting. I'd put it off long enough that I got my, I'd put it off long enough. Got my things in my backpack and went out to the door of our house. I do like how the subtitles kind of slot to the right end of the dialogue box. Everyone was waiting for me. Shit. Took you long enough. You did this last year. What's your damn problem? He stayed silent. Wasn't anything I could say. No answer. No reason was ever enough. Cat's got his tongue like usual. Too good to be talking to us. You got everything?
Waiting on Hunter now. He was scoping, make sure the path's clear. No outsiders come around today. Schedule was set. No patrol for any of us today.
Except RUNT, he should have done one. I had done one. Crack of dawn, shivering along the perimeter before the sun attempted its daily battle to break through the clouds.
Was he being truthful?
Did anyone see him? Tried being quiet.
You think he's a liar, Carver? Well, he wasn't being real forthcoming earlier, was he? Bet he got halfway around the fence and took a load off under some sycamore.
I tried to be quiet. Really, I did. Carver, don't be saying shit now.
Come to think of it, you was also missing all yesterday. Tell the truth, RUNT. Was you jerking it under some bush?
At key points in conversations throughout the game, you get to decide what RUNT will say. Some of the dialogue choices will make you alter your personality and can change how certain characters react to you. It says how your personality is shifting inside of you as a result of your choices can be seen on the me page in your journal. Alright. That's a little more aggro than I go for. Check the log sheet. I ain't a flaker.
Yeah, I'll be checking. 50 second, I ain't on you 24/7, you hear me?
RUNT? I gotta figure out a different voice for Carver here. Love this look. We fell silent, standing in our little half circle around Hunter. He towered over us, bearskin draped over his big ass frame, making him even bigger than he actually was. We were all on edge. See, Hunter was in a black mood. Had been for a few days at that point. It was like this shadow that swallowed all the light around him, half hiding him against the prairie grass. You feel it even before he got close to you, this horrible heaviness, muted only by the weight of his big old bearskin cloak. Oh, something about a dog. Sorry. The kind of dog it was, some sort of mutt that I swore was part wolf. Those two loved each. I guess somebody shot his dog or he lost his dog. Those two loved each other more than anything. Certainly more than Hunter ever loved us. He never hit River, not once. Would have liked us better if we were all his dogs, loyal, silent, and obedient, without even the ability to question his command. Okay, I was right. But River died a few days ago. I didn't say much else on it. Not how or why or when, only that River died. He kept the mud hidden away, not letting any of us get close to it. I can only take his word that River's passed. I feel like there's odds are just as well that he got pissed at it and killed it. None of us said the words to comfort each other. I was silent when he told me, standing stone among the chickens in the yard that early morning. No doubt everyone else was the same. That black mood in the days that followed River's death was built, like wood heaped on an invisible fire. That silent heat rippled around us as we stood before him. Wish I could say I had pity for him. For River to die, then having to deal with Dad's anniversary right after, but I think it was scared more than anything. All this heat had to go somewhere. God help who it struck. Ready? He turned to face us, face back on the teeth of his hood. I nodded. We all nodded.
We were waiting for RUNT. He was hiding.
I wasn't hiding. How many times I gotta say it? Enough. His hand was on my shoulder. Even through my jacket, through his gloves, I could feel his strength, his power, and fingers dug in tight. Let's go. RUNT, take point. I knew my brothers were sneering under their masks. Taking point was not something to be proud of. It's the first line of defense if we got attacked. First of all, the meat. They all started gathering their things, little things we would bring to leave in Dad's memory. His sermon book, his pamphlet, some candles. We got no body or grave. We had to burn him so it wouldn't attract them. In tradition, we'd all take a little trinket or something, and that would be Dad, his presence, his spirit. We were always finding bits of him everywhere at home. Like somehow in his death, his ghost would come home and, I don't know, melded with the house. His hair, his clothes, his writings. Every nook and cranny was there, always watching us, like he never left. RUNT. Yeah? Let's bug out. Now. It's a bad idea to keep him waiting any longer. Map in the low right near your bag. Use your map to move around, skip plot, and see the lay of the land. Alright, church is there. Weird house. Right click doesn't seem to do anything. Okay. There we go. I was clicking I thought the arrow near church was something, but no, it's something else. Each step, my feet got heavy. I'm stomping on sticks and dry grass and getting cuffed at the back of the head by Carver when I slowed down. Nobody said anything, but each time I lagged, I could feel the heat of their eyes on my neck. Strange step. Don't know how I feel about that. Oh, maybe this is one of them they were talking about. Hunter halted, raised a hand. Stop. Down. We dropped. We didn't disobey. Not in this world. Hesitation got you killed. 9 o'clock. There, just beyond the top of the fence. We lay on the crest of the hill, looking down a shallow, dry gulch. We shuffled in the grass, positioning ourselves just beneath the brush. We smelled it before we saw it. That thick, acrid, musky scent. There it was. We have all sorts of names for them. Hunter calls them the Unholy. Tanner and Fisher call them lung dogs, along with most of the town. Carver calls them those flesh fucks. To me, they're always twisters. Why twisters? Well, how else are you supposed to get the head off? Damn. You'd always hear them if they were close. In big sacks pressing out air, wheezing and breathing and gurgling. Sound like death rattles. Even more than their breathing, I hate their eyes. They never seem to blink. And before I knew all what they could do, I wanted to put a bullet in their skulls just for those lids to finally droop and quit staring at me. They appeared after the blackout, pouring in from some unknown place for some unknown purpose. Something more than animal, less than human. We had our rifles, but they had the dark. Never-ending dark. I tried to focus. Nothing good comes from daydreaming on a battlefield. We watched as it swayed in the field. Us hiding low in the grass. Hunter prepped his rifle and waited. Typically, we aimed to engage and scare them off as quickly as possible. But a wasted bullet is a wasted bullet. As we crouched there, I felt a hand bump mine, knocking my flashlight. Couldn't tell you who, but my gut says it was Carver. I couldn't move quick enough. My flashlight blasted on, over the fence and out across the field. Who fucking? Stop talking. We all stood at Hunter's heavy, commanding, "I'll beat the shit out of you if you so much as breathe" tone I was all too familiar with. Beam caught the twister as it tore and mauled some creature. We watched, unable to look away. The sounds carried over the prairie, wet and sinewy, and echoed in the cold. In the dark grass, I felt a firm hand paw around towards mine. I took my flashlight and went to flick it off. As it did, the sound of the beam powering off cracked into the night. The twister looked up. Hello! It was near black in the field. Twister, a liquid shadow against the grass. Hunter lifted his gun. Twister twitched. Okay. Fucked off. And disappeared, quick as it came. We waited, breathing low against the swaying grass. When it didn't return, we slowly stood up and kept on. Jab in my back from someone's gun urged me back up to the front. Felt like I was marching to my doom. Which, if I think on it, I guess it was. Never got over how the church looked that night. Yeah, with how tired I am, I might have to call it. Maybe take a nap and late night hypnagogia. I'm sorry. But we will at least get through this. The water seeped in from the window to look like tear stains from a weeping eye. Like it was living. Felt bad nobody was coming to it no more. After Dad passed, service slowed. Nobody could take on his work. Nobody had his speech, his tongue, his way of moving. Make you believe in miracles. Make you believe in anything. It was an unstoppable force, like a tornado or a hurricane. You can feel the emptiness in that church when he died, like all the air went out of the room. Nobody took over, not even Hunter. So it was locked up. All the faithfuls that died before him anyway were fucked off into skip plot after he died. We use it occasionally. For important days like today, or for meetings if anything ever got bad. We were here the day the blackout happened. Right 1 second, black the second after. I hid under pews while people scrambled into panic outside. Still see the blood on the floor from the few times the twisters broke in. Fighting our way back home to the farm, we lost a lot of people. I was only 9. Covered my eyes. Perhaps the last time my brothers were nice to me was back when they guided me home. I didn't cry. Told me not to, so I didn't. I'm 19 now. Cried a lot since then. Can't help it. After all, I was RUNT.
Who's got the code? Not me.
I got it. Go. Get. I'd never been given the code before, and trusting me with the code was new. And trusting me at all was new.
We're waiting, RUNT. You too, boy. It's fucking cold out here.
I had no time to think on it, so I went forward, but towards that hollow, haunted place. It was order, right? You need to complete a variety of puzzles and chores in order to progress through sections of the game. Some are simple, while others require a bit more thought. Check your inventory, talk to people, and think carefully about how to approach each puzzle. If you need help, check the question mark tag that will be present at each puzzle. Alright, so... yeah. I wanted to turn the radio on, but... guess that's a D? Or org fee. Or day gonna get you. Once the lock opened, I felt the darkness pass through me. I haven't even cracked the door open yet. There's something strange and cold was seeping out from underneath the door. Was it a draft or like a wind or anything? It was just something evil. My brothers always said I was too sensitive, too soft. They called me girly and weak and flighty, but if I had known that what was behind those doors and how it would change all our lives, I would have run. Then and there. Run, 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 never look back. Can't see shit in here.
Well, quit bitching and get a candle going. Smells funny in here.
That inky black feeling only got thicker. Got some gewgaws here. And trails.
You can smell through that?
Smell.
Wait, yeah, I smell it too now.
What is that? Hush. We fell silent. My nerves were twitching like a guilty sinner. Light it up, boys. Beam sky high. That's not the sky.
What the fuck is that?
You, RUNT, go check it out. Me? Why me?
Just go, shit ass.
I also didn't see a manual save, so we're just gonna do what we're gonna do. My hands were trembling. My gun rattled in my grip. I couldn't at that time explain even to my numb, dumb self why I felt the way I felt. Maybe it was something like a hunter's gut, an instinct. Dad would have called it divine insight. Brothers would have called it being a pussy. I stepped closer in the dark. I was suddenly assaulted by this deathly smell, rotten and sour, like the vinegar in our cannon room. My steps creaked, mixing with a cold wind blowing in from outside. There's something else, too. This thick, slow, dripping. I'm trembling now as I write it. What a thing we saw. What it did to us. Okay, no, that's definitely entrails. Space? Oh, 5 days. That's the calendar, okay. We stood in stunned silence as each of us took in the message written in the odds and ends of dozens of creatures. Was it a warning? Was it a threat? We didn't know then, but it was a promise. A promise that would be fulfilled. By me. Excuse me? I like that they made a cross here with this bit of the N and the T to kind of lean into the religion thing. Don't touch nothing now. Okay, so at least we have a save indicator. I thought they were going to stop it there. We left the church stunned and silent, like Hunter radiated in heat like a fire made out of hate. It was a violation, you see, an unholy mess made of that sacred day. Made him mad. So mad. Not that he would ever say it, not with words, didn't need to. Feel that heat coming off him in waves, and it whipped us all into stupid silence. He took point. Fought with our tails between our legs. No one talking, not even Carver. As we walked, the feeling in the church followed us home again, our sixth most dark brother. Couldn't shake it. I don't know if anyone else felt it, but from how our heads hung low, it's like our own shadows were too heavy. It was late when we got home, deep night. I almost cursed the old screen door for creaking too loud when it slammed my ass on the way in, but Hunter was already up the stairs. We weren't going to talk about it yet then. Sort of wanted to talk about it right then and there. The longer he was quiet, the worse it was going to be when he finally wasn't. Settled down on my cold mattress with a knot in my stomach. Feeling grew, gnawing and twisted like it was going to come up out of my throat. Every time I was almost asleep, woke me back up, like it was tapping me on the shoulder, not wanting to let me forget it. I'd done something wrong that night in the church. Whatever it was, I couldn't quite know yet. The way things were around here, maybe I never would. Lay on my mattress with my eyes closed in the dark, trying to keep myself calm. Feeling haunted me, this feeling of failure. Yeah, we're definitely gonna take a break after. I'm gonna go offline after this and hopefully come back later tonight for it to go. Yeah, I'm slipping fast. Didn't remember how bad I slept that night. I was up before the crack of dawn. There's also time of day indicator, so I'm figuring maybe it'll switch to afternoon and night as we go. I was up before the crack of dawn, first out to the hen house to let the girls out, then right back in to scrub down the kitchen before I fixed up breakfast. Laugh like this and let you feel sorry for yourself for long. House stuff was my job, mainly cooking and cleaning, watching the hens and tending the little garden out back. Every day I fixed breakfast and dinner, no exceptions, no days off, no matter how piss poor Tanner said my cooking was. They let me off the hook for lunch, seeking to take it somewhere and skip claw if they could. Breakfast that morning was nothing but eggs scrambled up with a few sorry sausages. And toast. Butter and jam would keep them happy, keep their mouths full from talking too, and would keep me happy too. I jabbed at the sausages sizzling in the pan. I could hear somebody getting up in another room, and that twisting feeling returned to my stomach like a gut punch. Hadn't felt this bad since Dad died. Couldn't say nothing, even if anyone else felt the same way. Couldn't say nothing. Nobody would care. Set out plates, and just on time, as if they could hear the clunking, everyone shuffled into the room. Hunter first, then Fisher, scratching his neck and yawning and shaking his head like a dog as he sat. Then Carver and Tanner, right together like they always were. In the backyard, the rooster crowed in the morning. Lord our God, we come to you as undeserving sinners with thanks for the bounty you have seen fit to put up on our table. Keep your hand heavy upon us as you lead us through the trials of this earth and form us into soldiers of your will. Amen. We were silent then, waiting for Hunter to speak more, but he just pulled his hands back, picked up his fork, and started eating. We followed suit, and once all our mouths were stuffed, he finally spoke. Who did it? He looked around at us, so that's the mystery you have to solve. Couldn't see his eyes, but you could feel him boring into your form under the teeth of his mask. Did what? Ow! Carver jumped high enough in his seat to clatter all the plates on the table. I saw why. Tanner had stepped on his foot under the table. What do you think, genius? We didn't do nothing. We wouldn't do that to Dad. You mean the thing in the church? Hell no, we ain't got time to be pulling shit like that. You fucking crazy? Carver, baffled as he always was by Hunter trying to chastise him, had his hands up, fork still gripped in one. Fisher wiped a sweaty palm on his dirty pant leg. Tanner stared at Carver, and then back at Hunter. Someone must be punished.
You mean killed? Ain't it a bit much to kill someone over this?
Ooh, I like that's such a good shift of look there. Hunter turned and clamped his hand over the back of Tanner's neck. He leaned in, pulling Tanner's head down close so he could speak right in his ear. His voice was hot and low. You want them unpunished? Is that the message you wish to send for the defamation of our church? The mockery of our day of mourning? You don't want us to do nothing? It's all fucking right to do that to us? Is that what you want to say to them? I knew that hand. I knew how hard it could squeeze. It was like a vice. 5 seconds in and you weren't sure if he was gonna start snapping bones. Tanner bore it. Silent. Didn't move a muscle. I feel like he would chicken shit out.
Let off him.
You two? Trade your balls in for a fucking dolly on one of your trips into Skipclaw? That it? His hand didn't relax on Tanner's neck. My eyes would have been watering at this point, but she couldn't move, or whine, or show any of the pain. Or it'd make it worse.
Let him fucking go so he could eat his fucking breakfast. He didn't do anything. If it was a Tanner playing a prank, hell, I'd be happy to be skinning myself. But we'd get help from Skipclaw. We'd do a thing like that. Just, Jesus H. Christ, Hunter, let him fucking go.
Moved fast, Hunter slammed Tanner's head down on the edge of the table. I heard wind leave his lungs. He staggered and Carver lunged forward to start fussing on him. Shit, Hunter.
What the fuck is wrong with you? He's right.
Tanner's voice was weak, his breathing slow and his breath slow and warbling, his breath slow and deliberate. His hands gripped the edge of the table as Carver uselessly cradled his shoulders.
We have to send a message to whoever did this. They can't fuck with us. Sure, well, we will. We just gotta be stealthy is all. Find that son of a bitch, Hunter. Don't you worry a thing. We'll find him, string him up by his nutsack. Right, Hunter? That'd be alright, wouldn't it?
What if it wasn't a human? Whole table turned to look at him. Fisher worked his hand up under his mask to scratch again. You think it's one of those unholy?
I mean, both of them can do stuff. We've all seen it.
It was true. We'd all seen it. And every time somebody died of one of those things, we saw it. Twisters were cunning, wily things with taste for scattering their prey when they were done eating it. Bones this way, half-chewed organs that way. Each making some kind of symbol for you if you looked at it for too long. Like it was trying to say something you were too stupid to understand. Or too scared. That message in the church could have been a Twister attack. Few of them in a pack, but could have been a smoke. They were subtle at first. That's throwing shadows that didn't quite match up. Shadows that moved when you weren't looking right at them. Some folks said it was their eyes adjusting. Like it was some kind of effect of the shadow in the sky. A withdrawal from the lack of light. Then people started disappearing. More and more and more. Just wandering off in the night. And when they were found, there was in some old barn or abandoned building. Bodies, you couldn't tell who they were anymore. All you knew is that they were human once. They were a person once. Now they were just corpses, curled up like dead bugs, skin and faces dried to paper, like old corn husks. Hunter called a town meeting after the first few bodies were found, and the town came to a conclusion on a few things. There was something new out there. Like the dark, and it needed people to be alone. After that, we paired up, kept flashlights on us as much as we could to ward off the darkness. It's always dark now. You can't be with someone else around the clock nonstop, even if you like them a lot. That's why we got these masks. They protect us. I'll tell you that story another time. Basically, that's not going to be in the demo, is it? Basically, the smokes can't see us with them on, like we're camouflaged. That's why we wear them now. As long as we're out in the dark, as long as we're not alone, as long as we hide our faces, smokes can't get to us. Funny. I think I've seen my brother's mask more than I've ever seen their faces. Some townies I've only ever known through their masks. My mask was... Oh, we're, who's that country musician? Oh, or we get to pick. See, the racing game guy in me, I kind of like the hubcap. I'm not going to lie. That's got kind of an Aqualin, like, owl thing going on, though. It's going to drive me nuts who that musician is. I'm going to remember at the end of the stream. But yeah, we'll go hubcap. That's cool. Hubcap, made out of junk. Took a lot of form to tat around my face. Sometimes it says heavy as fuck. That ain't here nor there. Maybe we got a metal one. I watched Fisher scratch at himself again. As we're steady in the kitchen, buzzing a low hum into the cold. I mean, both of them can do stuff. We've all seen it. At Fisher's words, I felt I had to say something. Oh, locked. No, maybe it's something we could have said if we'd done something different earlier. I don't think they could have done that. The words out of my mouth the second I said it. They all looked at me at once. I met each of their masks, staring in their vacant, blank eye holes. What, you got other ideas?
You ain't got shit.
Come on, let's hear it. Might be funny.
You want to entertain him? His little scratchy voice pisses me off. Come on, Runt, speak up. Tell us all about your little ideas.
Hunter was quiet. That fist on the table was all he needed to say. Everyone shut up and looked at him, but Hunter, he was looking at me. I could feel his eyes on me, even if I couldn't see him. Ask questions. Investigate. I want everyone searching. There will be no failure, no backing out. Carver, you're walking the perimeter. Tanner, guard duty. Fisher, hydro plant. If you find anything, report back immediately. That's an order. We all nodded. Runt, follow anyone you want to today. It was awful having to pick like this, knowing nobody wanted me around. It was too weak to go out solo. Everyone knew this. Every day I had to do this. Every day they hated it, and hated me a little bit more. But they wouldn't go against Hunter's word, and as much as anybody would hate to admit it, they needed me. Maybe they would have never mourned me as a brother, but they would have mourned the loss of a soldier, loss of a warm body, loss of a meat shield. They all ignored me as I lifted my head to look at each of them. Shit. You say you have to select one of your brothers to conduct a shift with. Shifts last most of the day and can be started immediately after breakfast or after you spend your free time in Skip Claw. You cannot do a shift with the same brother twice in 1 week. Whoever you select to work with today will not be available again. Consider who you choose carefully. Okay, we'll get the descriptions. Carver, the middle kid, real asshole, likes to hear his own mouth run. Maybe it'd be easier just to do the shit with him early. Tanner, second in command, but not for any good reason. He hates it when I get between him and Carver. But I feel like we might be able to play into some sympathy for the table thing earlier. Hunter, maybe the worst of the bunch, but that knot in my stomach says maybe I should pick him first. Get him done and out of the way. Fisher, the fourthborn, twitchy and quiet, with his weird ramblings. Ooh, like a weirdo. Still, he ain't the worst. Spending a shift together would be bearable. Tanner said nothing, but his head swiveled back to Hunter, waiting for him to speak. Then it's settled. 2 rounds in the meantime. Runt, meet after. I want you to talk to all the loners. Anybody who lives alone or spends most of their shifts alone. On my own? You can handle it. It's time you started pulling your weight around here. It took a ton of effort not to drop my eyes to the plates on the table. Carver slammed the table and stood up out of his chair. You're sending that fuck out on his own? Why we gotta do our shifts while he's fucking running around with his dick in his hand? Quit bitching unless you want Hunter to staple him to your ass for the week. Runt will be useful this way. Let's see, don't us for pride into those townies. Hunter kept his gaze on Carver till he sunk back into his chair with disgust. Runt. Yes, sir? Got that dairy girl Shirley's, the doc, and his pesky twins. Also that fucker Willie. And that radio feller read, I know we got more people, but just focus on those for today. Got 3 hours. Make good use of it. He stood. They followed. I feel like radio guy is going to be a good option because if there's any news getting broadcast, it's going to go through him. Willie seems shifty, and I want to know who Charlize is. So, stay to wash the dishes. Well, dishes done. It's time to head out. I open my mouth and my map, and let my already tired eyes trace the paper, deciding where to go. Oh, where did I start that day? They said Charlize was tied to the dairy. After breakfast, you can either start your shift with your brother straight away or use your free time to explore and talk to people around Skipclaw. Your free time is given to you by Hunter, and is the only time you have to explore the world and talk to people. Pissing Hunter off or breaking rules will reduce the amount of time of hours you have for free time. Or the amount of hours you have for free time. Visiting a location with someone present and having a conversation with them will take up 1 hour of your free time. If you visit a location with no one present, it will not take up any time. So if you go somewhere incorrect, you can keep moving. Remember, the things you do in the order you visit people can radically change what you can discover. Explore around and experiment. You might encounter entirely different days. Not sure where to head? Check your journal. May have leads or clues on where to go and what to do next. Open your map when you're ready to head out. Well, I know we took some notes. Alright. Notes on the brothers. Oh, Hunter wasn't in there before. My oldest brother, Hunter. Whatever he says goes, both here at the farm and out in Skipclaw. Don't fuck with him. Don't cross him. The only thing he's better at than leading is punishing. I don't know what clicking his picture did, but okay. Oh, we got a Twister description. Cool. Twisters should discuss some horrible creatures. Okay. I see. Once we get more clues, we can tie them together. Got it. Alright, Monday. Church was desecrated 5 days. Okay. Hand to put it away. Doc's office. Okay, weird house. Where we first started building the wall. Garland Farm. Charlize is probably working hard in the field there. So it did say, okay. Check where we keep our stores. All right. Local bathhouse. Oh, Willie, yeah, that's the other one I wanted to check. It being near the wall. Alright, so try Charlize first. Then Willie. Then maybe Doc. Dairy was right over the hill from the food store, so you could smell it before you saw it. Hell, you could smell it all the way across town if the wind was right. It smelled like shit. Hot, burning cow shit. And even with the mask on, it'd sear into your eyes. Living there as long as I had, never got used to it. Dairy belonged to the Garlands, but there was only one of them still around in those days. I remember Dad saying the Garlands were one of them families who settled in Skipclaw way back in 1800 and something. Still thought they were hot shit because their ancestors had a prize heifer. That meant they could run the town. Maybe he was right. I don't know. Garlands have always been kind to me as far as I can remember. Hard workers, no nonsense types, was always way back with a smile when you hollered hello. Generous people, even after the blackout. It's the worst world without them all. It happened a few years ago, after a real cold winter. Perhaps the worst day we'd had there since the blackout. Carver and Tanner were part of a group that had to carry out the bodies and hoist them over the fence to burn. Put in old burials for them. Too risky with disease catching and medicine running low. It was the first time I'd really worried about how long we'd last in this world. Didn't seem to matter that we wore a mask or had fenced ourselves away from the outside world when simple cold could wipe you out. Everyone goes up in smoke eventually. Everyone except Cheryl, that is, and her sister Ivy, who skipped town soon after. I saw Cheryl there that day, forking hay from a wheelbarrow out over the fence, and the sight of her made me smile, even with the scent of cow shit on the wind.
Is that who I think it is?
Love the cow skull mask. That's such a good look. Cheryl is what you call a real looker, even with a mask on. I like that she's got some thickness to her, too. Like, she's clearly, like, it's like athletic thick. Like, she has the meats, but she's also got the abs. Like, she's putting in the work. It makes sense, is what I'm saying. And I'll admit, my heart did a little flip in my chest hearing the smile in her voice as she called out to me. She's kind, like I said, like all the Garlands. You'd always treated me like a kid brother, though these days, I don't know. Feelings were all knotted up, twisted. Oh, I didn't even notice the braid sticking out. Didn't know what I felt was friendship or something more. I cared for. Oh, I like that. I guess they're gonna leave it to you as the player whether to pursue or not. That's cool. I want her safe. I know I'd do anything for her. But the thought of telling her that didn't sit right with me, as if she needed any more stray or trouble. Morning, Miss Garland. You need any help with that hay?
Miss Garland, come on, Run. I'm only 25. And no, I'm just finishing up now. How are you, kiddo?
Been better, been worse. She laughed at that and stuck her pitchfork into the soft earth, clapped the stray hay off her gloves, and swung her thick braid back over her shoulder.
How's everybody doing at the farm after yesterday?
I was surprised at first that she'd asked. How many people in town actually remember Dad at all? Let alone the day he died. That was Cheryl. She was the type to always want to know what was going on. Not in a nosy way, but in a caring way. Like if you told her your birthday, she'd write it down on the spot and remember it forever. Well, we're all kinda. I picked up the handles of the wheelbarrow for her as I struggled to think of what to say. Cheryl wasn't that much older than me, though. And tough. It wasn't like I needed to hide the hardship from her. God knows she'd dealt with plenty already. What with her family and bad years of stock and, having to live the world the way it was now. I just didn't want to add to that. It didn't feel right telling her that, just like it didn't seem right to be telling her I wasn't a kid anymore. She deserved peace. She walked right next to me along the fence as the cows chewed hay and cud with a look on their face like they were bored of us before we even showed up. Let's be honest. There was an incident.
An incident? What happened?
She was on edge. It was more caring than I heard in her voice. It was real worry. Made me grit my teeth. Shouldn't have said anything, but I had to tell everything now. Gut churned as I recalled for her everything that we saw yesterday. Blood, guts, words across the back wall, crooked and dripping fresh. Couldn't see her face, of course, but she stopped looking my way as I talked. By the time we'd reached the barns, her arms were crossed, her shoulders tight. Only one shoulder. The unishoulder.
Jeez, that gives me the shivers.
It was something.
And you don't know who did it?
Or what did it?
What did it? You think one of those things did it? Did they really do that?
Oh, maybe. Cheryl went real quiet. As far as I knew, Cheryl was the only one amongst us who had seen most of the twisters on account of being a real crack shot. Just pests to be picked off. But the thought of a pest being able to do something like that sends shivers down my spine all over again. As if the thought had just occurred to me for the first time right then.
What are you planning to do?
I half shrugged. Investigating, I guess. I couldn't go on. Shirley's head cocked. I don't like the idea of bothering you with this. Makes it seem like I've got it out for you. I swear I don't. She laughed again, and it felt like a light had just turned on in the darkness of the barn.
Don't worry about me. I can handle a few questions.
Well, have you seen anything? Creatures? Tana sneaking around? She hummed herself as she thought, looking out past the shuffling herd.
Well, I never have a good thing about Willie. Good feeling about Willie, but he's been lingering around Mr. Dixon's office some nights more than usual. And he's still hounding me about spare bottles for his business. I get why some people need a little drink every now and again, but you put a bunch of people in a cage and liquor them up? Not good.
What?
I don't agree with everything that brother of yours says, but I'm not allowed... Not allowing any parties is maybe the smartest thing he's ever done. After the fence, of course.
Hunter made a declaration early on that there was to be no booze of any kind at Skip Claw. Oh, great. Fuck that guy. Of course, nobody liked that. And once Doc mentioned that he had to have something to sterilize with, Hunter was tasked to talk into letting Willie keep his setup for medical purposes only. But there was one rule. No booze ups, no big parties. No strain on the power grid. No noise to attract unfriendlies. No drunks doing stupid shit that'd get us all killed. Makes sense. At least in that case, in that respect. Last and only party we'd had as a town amounted to a potluck in the old school gym while Radio Red played the same CD out of a little boombox in the... Oh, I was going to check with the radio guy. That was it. Kids played some ratty old board games with half the pieces missing. Then everyone got bored and went home. Guess it made some people happy.
Of course, there's still parties if you know where to look.
Oh, really? Really? How come I never hear anything about them?
Well, you're just a sweet young thing. Once you start getting a bit older, I'll start letting you in on the shindigs.
I frowned. That's pretty tough nowadays. What if I don't make it to another year?
That's the beauty of living, Runt. Give me something to look forward to. That is my gift to you. That's hope.
Never forget her words. Hope.
What would you say to a big glass of milk?
Ma'am?
Touch more age appropriate.
Gee, thanks.
Can I ask you something?
Yes, ma'am?
Why do I have you doing pickups today? Is Carver feeling under the weather or something? I haven't seen him around here lately.
Their pickups and check-ins were more tasks Carver took upon himself with great pride, ever since he started mixing more with the townies. He said it was smart to breed good relations with the old family. And if Shirley's had to be there, well, all the better for breeding. His words, not mine. One of the things he and Tanner didn't see eye and eye on. Tanner kept his distance with the townies and seemed to hate Carver's mixing too much with them. But Tanner kept his distance from everyone that wasn't Hunter or Carver. Couldn't tell you what he's up to. Hunter might know, but even then, with Carver being Carver, I shrugged.
I figured. Do you talk? If you do talk, or whatever you big old manly men do, could you do a favor for me?
I nodded. Tell him not to be a stranger. I haven't seen him since Saturday, which I know ain't a long time, but... Oh. I wanted to tell her I couldn't, but that, in fact, I would not be doing that. Carver, no matter how charming he was had a bad side. Rotten core. Wasn't going to be nice forever. If Shirley's, who'd been nothing but kind to me, had to be subject to that. You two aren't. Shirley's waved her hand all shy like...
Don't you worry about that. Just tell him, all right?
I feel she's grown up enough to handle herself. I nodded. Couldn't see her face, but how delicately she spoke. I could tell it had darkened.
I just need to talk to Carver about something.
Uh-oh. I collected our ration of milk and she sent me off with a hug that lasted just a little longer than usual. Oh, map again, probably. Okay. So yeah, Willie. I guess everybody would have the masks to keep the twisters and whatnot, or the smokies off of them. All places in Skip Claw to go, Willie's was the one I hated the most. The most isolated after our own farm, sitting right at the edge of town near the radio tower. Thick wall of wire surrounded it, along with heaps of trash and enough weeds to choke the life out of you. Stank to high heaven, sitting near a little runoff of water that stood still with bugs swarming. That was all intentional. Willie never laid out any welcome mat for anybody. Didn't have any business here. You'd get going before the bugs and smell eat you alive. Never came around much. Bugs in town treated Willie with a kind of distance. He never really had visitors and never invited anyone around. Had a bit of a reputation for being a salty old bastard. Rounds for rounds. Didn't have time to check in on everyone, but today I had a good excuse. If anyone might have an idea about stirring up trouble, it would be Willie. Alright. Willie, you in there? Heard nothing. Knocked again. Nothing. Knew he was home. He was never out before noon. Usually worked in the night, although usually a little mean in our gray world. Willie! Okay, that is pig. I was like, give me a second, let me look at the nose.
What? What's all this shit? It's too damn early to be fucking yelling.
Willie, it's me. I'm just doing rounds.
Fuck is doing rounds gotta do with waking me the fuck up? I ain't a fucking kid who needs checking in. This ain't fucking summer camp.
What's summer camp? Willie sighed, rubbed a hand against his mask like it was his hair, and started laughing.
This raspy, thin laugh. Gad, you wouldn't know nothing about that. You crazy cult fucks.
Willie left the door open, stumbling back inside. When he didn't close the door on me, I let myself in, the whole entryway creaking under my weight. Car guy. Oh, room was messy but warm. Give me a brief relief from the cold outside. Through the mask, I smelled that sour stench of unwashed sheets. I nearly gagged seeing the trash scattered in the corners. God, this guy sucked.
What are you here for, anyways? Don't see you this much on this side of town.
Willie was the town, well, I don't know exactly what you call him. Outlaw, ruffian, shitster. Regardless, he was not well liked. What he mainly did was make booze and start fights. He'd done all sorts of things before the blackout, apparently. Drugs, guns, cockfighting even. And to make a quick, bloody buck. The drugs were quickly used up or destroyed, and the guns were all confiscated. Some of his chickens died off soon after, too, the rest taken back to our house. He didn't take too kindly to that, or any kind of authority, really. Skipclaw didn't have any sort of police station or sheriff, given our size. That's how Willie managed to survive so long without getting caught. The blackout happened, and Hunter started changing things up in town. Willie was the hardest one to get in line. They fought constantly, mainly about Willie doing chores with the rest of us. He was bad at patrols, bad at farming, bad at everything but getting in trouble. In the end, Willie was given one singular job: stay out of the way. Hunter would have killed him outright, one less mouth to feed, if it weren't for Willie's one skill. He had a setup left over from his working days that converted the runoff from our wheat into fuel that could help power some of the older generators. Hunter let him live after seeing how quickly he converted 2 barrels of chaff into a solid barrel of fuel. Larry left to his own devices. We only came around when he needed to move the fuel to any of the older jennies. It's a pain in the ass each time, so we only went when we really needed to. For a while, it seemed like we were at peace with our little thorn, but, like the old saying, idle hands are the devil's workshop. We really got into making this moonshine, stuff so strong you could blow your hair clean off. Tannis kept it a secret from Hunter. Once I found some young'un with a bottle and then begged me not to say shit. The time was real young, so I said nothing. That seemed to have won me a lot of favor. I never drank the stuff. It smelled so strong I nearly passed out when those young'uns tried to offer me it to me as thanks. If the others, like my brothers that is, knew anything about Willie's little side business, they rarely made mention of it. Maybe they got a little free bottle from time to time. I don't know. Maybe perhaps we were all content to keep the peace. Just as long as Willie kept to himself, making his little bottles for trade, to trade for food, and was still working on making a living. No harm, no foul. Regardless, he hated our asses, which was fine. I hated the guy too. Didn't like that he made chickens fight. Seemed mighty cruel. I'm here doing rounds.
You said that already. You gotta get back to napping. You ain't got no reason to be here bothering me. Unless you interested in some of my wares, eh?
I wanted to beat that smirk out of him. I couldn't see it, but I could hear it. Willie had to know something about what happened, but I was hesitant on what to say. He could start spreading all sorts of rumors about me if I said the wrong thing. Let's not be specific. Seen anything strange lately?
What you mean, strange? Whole damn world's strange.
Like weird shit. Rumors on Twitter or smoke shit?
No, nobody talks to me.
Don't play with me now. I know you got a little network with your business. Part of your trade, ain't it? He started to laugh and sat down on the stool by his workstation.
Well, it ain't much of a secret nowadays. As much as my little business makes me Mr. Popular, my customers don't chat too much. Kind of part of the deal. Discretion, I guarantee. That's kind of my motto. Anyway, why are you asking?
Just bored him around.
You a shit liar, boy. Whatever it is you up to, I ain't interested. Whatever punch you out drinking, I ain't thirsty enough for it.
What theories? He waved a wrinkled hand at me.
Don't play dumb with me. I ain't in the mood. Let me get back to my nap. I need my beauty sleep.
I gave up. Any more prodding wouldn't mean much, and I had to stay on schedule. Something struck me as I started to head out. Sound that I wasn't really used to hearing so far away from the hydro station. It was a hum. Electrical hum. Rose with a soft whine of the workstation tools. What's that sound?
What's that? What you talking about?
A hum. You don't hear that? So we're autistic because we're picking up with the electrical hums. Something very big mood. Willie spread his hands wide, looking around.
I don't hear shit. You going crazy or something? I don't want Craig Day hanging around my delicate workstation. Kick you out of here, you start speaking in tongues. Hey, weren't that some of your old man's little book things? Must have been something. Listen to that fucknut go off day after day. No wonder y'all turned out so damn crooked. Grew wrong like damn weeds.
I left, slamming the door behind me. Didn't want to stay and listen to his rambling any longer. The strange hum faded as I walked back, replaced by the constant low howl of the prairie wind. Alright, and then after the ad, we'll come back for one more go. Yeah, I feel like we're not going to get more than an individual day out of the intro day and then like one day of actually like playing the game. We'd see what notes we've gotten. Heard a strange hum at Willie's house. Okay. Curious what the difference between the plus minus and the... That's like neutral to... Or maybe hatred to affection. Alright. Parties that happen without Hunter knowing. Alright, can we like combine those? I don't know. Oh, more thoughts. Yeah, that makes it go away. Okay. Okay. Drink up the throat. Yeah, because we have one more visit, and then we have the shift afterwards, too. And I'm not sure if we're going to get evening free time as well, but I guess we'll see. I guess it depends on how long the shift takes. Anyway. So we wanted to, yeah, I was thinking Radio Red. Yeah. Up on the tallest hill, overlooking all the skip flaw, was the radio tower. Receiver thrust into the sky, dotted with tiny LEDs, like a Christmas tree. At the very top, a bulb, a bright blood-red bulb, floating into the sky, that red flash at the top like an eye looking down on me. Looks more like a repurposed Firewatch tower. Like it's odd having the broadcast booth all the way up there along with the equipment. Might have made someone else feel all weird inside seeing that crimson against all that black, but for me it was comforting, like a little star guiding me. Radio tower was a small thing, built years ago when there had been a bit more traffic passing through town. We had a little radio station. None of us on the farm were ever allowed to listen to it. It played music and gave farm reports. Apparently it shut down a while before I was born. When the blackout happened, someone saw its worth and booted it all back up. Just beneath the tower sat an old trucker cab. It had been decorated with bumper stickers, drawings, bits of glittery tinsel, and string lights. It's a little weird to me that like even the capital J has a dot over it in this font. It sat dormant with string lights climbing up its cab and tools scattered around it. Cigarette burned nearby, but no smoker. Climbed up the stairs into the squat little station, following the scent of smoke. So it's set around Christmas, or it's just always Christmas. Red, you in here? Hey, well, if it isn't my favorite troublemaker. Trying to lean towards, like, broadcaster voice. Red was a trucker who did long haul before the blackout. It wasn't a local escape clause. Root just brought him here, and he ended up trapped when it all went down. But he made the best of a bad situation. Settled in quick and without a thought. gave away all that was in his truck to help us, which was, luckily, seeds. He went over to a lot of people with his openness, and his stories about his travels, which made him great company. You'd be hard-pressed to find anyone to say a bad word about him. Except for Hunter. He had plenty to say about him. How's things, Big Tux? I want to differentiate from Hunter with the deep voice. I chuckled like I always do when he called me that. See, Red was from down south, from the state called Texas. Apparently that's where Dad was born, before he moved up here. I learned that when Red caught me saying this one phrase. What was it? Don't squat on your spurs? Yeah, I said that, and Red said he hadn't heard him forever. We got to talking, and pieces started to come together. Funny how I learned more about the state from some outsider than my dad. Everything go all right? Everything go all right with, yesterday? Yeah, about that. Red stopped shuffling his tapes and looked right at me. What happened? Of all the people in Skip Law, Red was the guy I trusted the most. Couldn't put my finger on it. Maybe it was his easy nature or the way he took whatever he said so seriously, like you were preaching gospel. What's that photo on the wall? I think it was just because he was an outsider. I had grown up with a stone's throw Skip Claw. Yet it was only after the blackout that I ever dared even speak to a soul there. They were so foreign to me. Strange. We shared that feeling, however unspoken it was, and we weren't ever really going to fit in. Well, I didn't fit in as well as Red did. There was always a wall between me and the townies, no matter what I did. Getting the radio station up and running was a big boon. Town could communicate, listen to music, and get updates from Red from his vantage point up high in the sky. It made him pretty popular all over town. Everybody knew Red, or felt like they did, and it kind of made him Skip Claw's unofficial mayor. Till it was never spoken in Hunter's presence. Besides, I hadn't got a clue where our real mayor was. Dead, probably. Either way, he was the one I wanted to talk to about all this. I trusted him more than any of my brothers. But as I wanted to tell him, I hesitated. He and Hunter hated each other something fierce. I never even thought Red to be the type to get all violent or aggressive, but maybe something had happened. Some secret fight I hadn't been privy to. Hunter kept all hours, roaming around, doing things. I was surprised he slept at all. Doubt grew in me then. What could I say? We trust him. There was an incident. Told him everything that had happened, including the weird message in Hunter's command. He sat and listened as I rattled through. When I'd finished, my hand shook a little. Didn't realize how much I'd been holding in. The message was terrifying, scary, it's personal. Someone has it out for you folks. But why? Why now? Well, don't be simple now. The why is obvious. Your brothers, especially Hunter, don't do anything with the town in mind. It's y'all first and y'all only y'all first. Put a hand on my shoulder. You're the only one kind-hearted enough to escape that, so I wouldn't worry about yourself. I nodded slowly, a little flushed at the compliment. I kept everyone I got close to me, in a box, deep inside. Red sat back down and hummed to himself, thinking. Only y'all can get to that church, right? Yeah, we changed the lock often, too. Do you think it was one of your brothers? I shook my head, but paused. I don't see why. I mean, why go through all that? It's a real puzzle, I'll give you that. Is there anything you think your brothers might be hiding from you? That was the thought. My brothers hated me, all of them. Well, at the time, I couldn't tell you why. I had ideas, though. I was the youngest, the slowest, the dumbest. I wasn't as quick with a gun or a knife. I always had trouble getting up in time for patrols or work. I wasn't tactical or cruel enough. They didn't make it a big secret either, their hatred of me. They didn't really hide shit from me. I wasn't really the one to be deemed worthy of hiding anything from. Like, even if they told me a secret, it's not like anyone else would believe me. I don't know. I don't think so. Do you think the message was left for you? Instantly, I shook my head. If the message was a prank, and the prank for me, then it meant they thought I was hiding something. They are hiding something from me. Then the message wouldn't make sense. I ain't really got any secrets. I ain't got time for it. I mean, to talk to y'all and Hunter like that, but that's not really a secret. Red thought hard and nodded. That and Hunter specifically said check in. I think. Or at least that was one of the options. It's tough. I'm sure Hunter's already got you looking, but I'll try to help out. Even if this is some big runaround, although I know you'll do your best to get to the bottom of this. Before anyone gets hurt. God, I hope so. Don't tell a soul, Red. I could see his smile. I couldn't see his smile, but I could hear it in his voice. I promise, Big Tex. Just know I share your burden. We can figure this out together. I'll let you know if I find anything, and I'll do my best to pass it on. Also, he's got a bear tattoo. That's interesting. I would say, was the bear his? That Hunter got his, like his whole mask and skin from? But I don't know why a trucker would be keeping a bear. Hate to hurry you, but I gotta get back to the radio. I need to do the lunch report, and I had a few requests for songs. If you ever get the chance, you think you could thank Bess for giving me those cassettes? Oh, that's a clue. Or at least an alibi. I was stuck here all day Saturday doing the report. See those bad boys come through? Good lord. It's nice to have some new tracks after so many years, you know? For sure, Red. I'll see you around. I waved goodbye and head back into town. The red glow of the radio tower sent him my shadow far ahead of me. His words have soothed me, settled some of the thorny knots in my stomach. But as I walked away, the sound of my boots clomping in my ears, the worry came right back in a cold rush. Did I miss something in his behavior, swept up in his charm? Why had he been so quick to dismiss me from the whole thing? He thought I had no secrets to hide, the way he talked like I wasn't part of the problem. Like he knew something I didn't. He'd been so casual, so calm. I like that word, observant. Over and over, the thoughts swirled around my head. Thought I wanted to deny. But that could just be to fuck with me. Had he done it? Alright, so the map. We're out of... so we were going to do... it's Tanner, right? Yeah, we were on perimeter. Not Hunter. Oh. Yeah, we don't want to be late because we'll get yelled at. So what's that little photo thing at the bottom there? That's interesting. Church wasn't too far away from our house. Stone's throw away on a windy day. Right past the thatch of the forest we hadn't cut down for lumber on account of it being full of brown rot. You could see the church's roof peeking out over a gap in the trees before it gave full face, looking down on you with that big leaning roof and a single boarded up window. Didn't like the look of it. Never looked exactly friendly, not at least since we boarded it up, but no one was in there now. What I figured nobody had cleaned up yet. Should have picked a different brother. It's too early to come back to this shit, deal with this mess. Could not just go back home and pretend it hadn't happened? Pretend all that we'd done last night was pay our usual respects to Dad? Wanted to go back to my chores. Wanted to go back to myself getting lost in all those green rows of cauliflower and cabbage and kale in the backyard. Wanted to let the girls out and watch them take a dust bath before packing all the bugs and grubs out of the dirt. Hell, I'd even be grateful to get elbow deep in the sink scrubbing dishes as long as it meant I wasn't here, trying to track down the scent of a guilty man. Man I knew Hunter would kill. Halted on the path back to the church. Tanner was off looking another way, and I hadn't seen me yet. Nah, couldn't turn back. Not if I wanted another beating. Forced myself to take a step forward and continued into the churchyard. Tanner was there guarding the church doors, leaning on that weird staff of his. 2 hunting knives hanging from that big leather belt cinched around his waist. There was a slight breeze that day, and it fluttered the ribbons on his antlers when he looked at me. He didn't say hello, neither did I. Ribbons were all blue, but dirty. They made no noticeable sound. He looked off, back into the bit of forest separating the church from the general direction of the town. Ribbons on his antlers caught each other, rippling and flitting to tangle. Would never figure out why I wore those antlers. Nobody here in town wore something that big, that in the way. Mask I understood, though its design was peculiar. Just a shell of scorched wood without any features to make it. like friendly looking. All it had was a thin slit for him to look through. Those antlers up top. I knew he took them off to sleep, but I couldn't for the life of me figure out why every morning he chose to strap back on again. It looked so heavy. Followed his gaze out to the darkened tree line. Same as ever to me. The staff there. How's your head?
Fine.
Looks like your mask is okay. Surprised it didn't crack.
Yeah.
Seems like what Hunter did bothered Carver more than it did you. Must be nice being that close to somebody. Tanner said nothing. I hung back, taking a lean against the church. Flake of paint cracked under my shoulder. Wind howled past us, making the trees whisper in ghostly conversation. Seen anything?
Nothing yet.
You really expecting something?
Hunter is. Figures whoever did it'll come back, and when they do.
Chill passed through me at the thought of bloodshed at Tanner's hands. All those knives strapped to his waist.
We'll be ready.
Think it was a prank?
Doesn't matter. Shoot them all the same. You got your gun?
Yeah. I had a shotgun strapped over my back and shrugged my shoulder, tugging on the strap. Tanner didn't carry, not for a while at least, on account of him shaving off a bit of Hunter's shin bone with a bullet trying to take down a deer that had come through our backyard. Bad shot, bad discipline. I didn't know the specifics, and I'd never seen the wound. But he hadn't been allowed to carry since. That or he didn't want to. Out of all of us, he seemed to like this living off the land the most. But I can't recall him ever being that into hunting and shooting. But, well, it's hard to tell what Tanner liked, or wanted, or thought about anything. He was, how ought I to put it? It wasn't just that he was quiet. He didn't stand on his own 2 feet. Carver, he was the one in charge of the two of them. They weren't actually twins, but they could have fooled anybody with how close they were. Tanner was older by 9 exact months, but Carver was boss here, and they weren't nowhere without each other. It's one thing that really made picking Tanner for shifts a sore point. Dad got down to business, Jesus. Carver could stand on his own just fine, but Tanner didn't like to. He wanted his brother, and always made me miserable for choosing to separate them. You don't think someone's going to show up? Tanner shrugged. I don't want to shoot nobody.
Well, why not? You want me to be doing all the work, huh?
I don't mean it that way.
If this SOB shows up, you best be shooting him at range. Because if he gets close enough and we scrapple, I don't want you blasting that thing around my head, you hear? Stay sharp now. Eyes on the horizon.
All right.
Who even gave you a shotgun?
Hunter, I didn't pick it. I'd have come out here with nothing if it was my doing.
I bet. Ever want to pull your weight around here? You know, your cooking's getting real shit. Laundry ain't ever clean anymore.
Well, gosh, I don't know. We're running out of soap.
Yeah, because you're putting it in the food? That it?
Would have been funny if you hadn't said it in such a blistered way.
We gotta think about getting you fixed up with a wife or something. A woman around the house would do a world of good. Place looks like a bunch of animals living in it or something.
I ain't got time to clean all that shit up. I got shift work and the hens, the garden, fixing this and that, and
burning all our food and punching holes in the walls.
Hunter was the last one to punch a hole in the wall. I don't want to get married anyway.
Why? You an F-slur or something?
Even though I can declare reclamation as a bisexual, I don't want to. If Disco Elysium's going to censor it, I will too. Okay? Okay.
Bet you are.
Ooh. Swing back at him.
What if I was? You don't want to be joking about that shit.
I didn't say anything.
Best be joking, Runt. Hunter will kill you for that shit.
Why don't you get a wife? Or Carver? Close as you two are, maybe you could share her.
Fuck off with that pervert shit. Neither of us are gonna marry.
He said it like it didn't interest him much, and I had to wonder who'd made that choice. Now Carver was a little more unfriendly with some of the women folk of Skip Claw. All his brag was to be taken for truth, but he didn't seem set on marrying a single one of them. But Tanner couldn't rightly say. As much as we want to throw it back at him, we're better than that. You decided that yourself? Tanner shrugged, annoyed. Hunter know about this?
What, you gonna go running tattle? Ain't worth tattling about. Who gives a shit if we want to stay single?
We're supposed to populate the earth. Dad always said so. We were supposed to marry and let God bless us with as many children as he saw fit. Tanner might get pissed if I mention that part of the teachings. Oh. We can't stay silent. You don't want to do what Dad told us to?
Huh?
Marry, populate the earth so every man, woman, and child can come to know the truth in the mouth of God. Don't you believe? Tanner waved a hand, uninterested.
Let the preacher get to that shit if he wants.
Preacher was our brother, Fisher. Tanner never liked him much, especially the way he liked to ruin supper with his ongoing ceaseless thoughts on continuing Dad's work and all the ways he thought God was mad at us for fucking it all up. Not for not tithing, not praying enough, not making enough sacrifices, not reopening the church. Never thought Tanner actually hated Fisher that much. But standing outside the church that day, I wondered. What about the guts inside? The stink, that blood. Had Tanner done it? Just to fuck with Fisher? Don't get accusatory now. I was trying to get in his good graces, so. What do you think is going to happen in 5 days? Tanner shrugged.
Nothing. It's just a prank.
Aren't you worried it's not? Tanner scoffed.
If it ain't a prank, then what?
It's judgment. All truth's coming to light and all that. Yeah, something to be worried about? He was real quiet behind that mask. He shifted his weight onto his other foot.
How do you think it's judgment?
Well, you know, God working in mysterious ways and all that.
I think Carver.
You think it was Carver?
No, it definitely wasn't him.
Where was he the night before last?
Not sure, but something like that. You could set up and leave for a few days before anyone saw it.
Right.
Did he do it then? Did he? Nah, wouldn't have been just him. Him and Carver both.
I'd have to tell Hunter it might have been both of them. As for why, I'd have to go see Carver next. Shift went on for a few more hours, but we said nothing more that night. In silence, we marched home. Curious if that icon's supposed to be like a windmill or a Ferris wheel. First day wound down, digging itself into the cold earth to sleep. Done what I could for Hunter's mission that day. Asking questions, interrogating. My feet were sore as fuck, stomping back down home, and then having to do my dinner and nightly chores. They all came home, exhausted from the day. Ate dinner wordlessly. Even Carver seemed too tired to start up any fights. It was an unspoken thing. What had happened in the church was finally settling on our shoulders, and God, it was a heavy weight. As I ate, standing on the counter, stared at each of my brothers and wondered what they were thinking. Wondered what was going on behind those masks of theirs. At that time, I didn't feel any closer to the answer. Suppose I still don't. My thoughts drifted to my shift. Tanner had been standoffish, or distant. We never got on well, even at the best times, but he seemed to bare his teeth even more that day. Shivering hunched like a scared dog. Message had rattled him, put the fear of God into him. I feared for him. Feared what Hunter would do to him, his personal punching bag, if we failed. When I pressed him about who might have done it, of course, said it wasn't Carver, but he admitted he didn't know where he was that night. And even those two were tied at the hip. So where was Carver? What was he up to if even Tanner didn't know? Everyone left their dishes without a word and collected them, washing them under a single flickering bulb above the sink. So tired, I swear I nearly dunked my head into the murky sink water. As I rolled onto my bed, bones aching and stiff to the core, thought about tomorrow. The message haunted me. 5 days? Till what? I didn't know what it would bring. If I would ever get closer to a real answer about that church. Saw the guts, the flies, the ribbons of red across that place that had once been not a home, but something special. Not like good special, like big special. Overwhelming special. If we ever were to move past this, we needed an answer. But I couldn't think of how to get any answers. I panicked, looking around the room as if anything could help me. Funnily enough, something did. I had this old spy book, you see, thriller, real blood-pumping tale of international espionage, as the back cover claimed. I picked it up and flipped through the pages, rereading the dog-eared pages I'd read countless times before, and grinned. The spy in the book wasn't especially strong or loud or commanding or nothing. He was just real smart Real clever with putting clues together and figure out what needed to be figured out. I knew how they did all this shit, putting together clues and shit. It wasn't that hard at all. Didn't need to be strong, powerful, or anything. Just have a decent head on your shoulders. Nothing stopped me from doing that myself. I rushed to scribble down everything I'd heard that day, marking out anything and everything that seemed suspicious or valuable. Soon I had a list of clues, and with them, the questions I needed to answer to pin the right person. Who could have done it? Where were they on the day it happened? How'd they do it? Why'd they do it? What would happen on the 5th day? If I could answer all those questions, I could show Hunter at the end of the week, and this whole damn thing would clear up. That's your core system. I sighed, laying back on my bed with a smile on my face. The smile didn't last for long. Saw all that blood, those guts in my mind. I might be able to figure it out, but someone was going to get hurt for it. No matter how good I figured it out, no matter what I did, somebody was going to get hurt. Would it be my fault? Brought my journal to my face and looked at what I'd written again. At the end of the day, we need to go over all you learned from your investigation, namely clues, pair them together to create conclusions. These conclusions will help answer questions and rule out suspects. However, you'll have to put your solving to the test in the full game, as you don't have enough clues to make any conclusions right now. Look around your journal and click the hand at the bottom when you want to head to bed. It's been a long day. Okay, the Charlize thing does apparently lead somewhere, too. I feel like it's going to end up being a combination of characters that it tied in with. Red's a trucker that got shredded in Skip Claw when the blackout hit. Tries to keep everybody in good spirits by running the town radio station. The popularity he's gained from it has turned Hunter against him in a bad way. Oh yeah, so we couldn't combine anything, so... Oh wait. Okay. Words began to bleed together. Salt and oil seeped into my eyes, blurred all black smudges. Save my detective for tomorrow. Put my journal away and curled up in bed, mask tied on my face. Shut my eyes. My mind swirled to bitter images of guts, of blood, of blackness. My eyes adjusted to the dark. Knew I was asleep at the time, but it was a distant knowing. Speck on the horizon in the back of my brain. For me, shimmering and distorted, was a face. Haggard, sunken, buzz cut short as anything. It was my face. I was staring at my own face. I tried to focus on it. I tried to smooth it out. Heat built up in my head. Pressure crawling along the inside of my skull. I tried to focus to make the face look more like me. The more the pressure built. And built. And built. And then I exploded. Kaboom. That's cool. Light burst across my face. Flame swept up and over me into a black sky, their reflection rippling over the surface of dark water. It was so bright it hurt. Strange to feel the pain in a dream. Something was watching me. Something just over my shoulder. But I couldn't turn. I couldn't move my head. Depends on which shoulder, angel or devil. Heat was so much. It was too hot. Too fucking hot. I couldn't breathe. Oops, skip ahead there. Wanted to wake up. I wanted to breathe. Wake up. Wake the fuck up. Wake your ass up. Better be waking up. Okay, it just lingers on it for a minute. Shot awake, my heart pounded, my muscles sluggish. Something was wrong. My eyes were bleary. Cool air washed over my face, catching the sweat trickling over my brow. It wasn't a good cold, not even after that heat in the dream. It was too cold. I was too bare. Mask was off. Had I taken it off? Had I clawed it off in the heat of the nightmare? Didn't have time to answer that question. Oh. Okay, I definitely need to take a nap after this. Didn't have time to answer that question. The light bulb above my bed had gone out. Candle burned down. I was exposed, vulnerable in the dark. Smoky. And I wasn't alone. You gonna end on that? Yep. Thank you for playing RUNT. Who left the message? Who can you trust? And who will you be when everyone is done with you? See you in 2026. Yeah, this is legit. I'm a little less gory than I expected, if I'm being honest. Again, after seeing the arm getting sewn up in the trailer, now I think this one is out already, but it's only like $8 or $10. Might have just released. Hence why I got an alert for it in some capacity.